A very good evening. You're watching Plain Speak. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. We are coming live to you from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time studio. Now, temples have been burnt and defaced, houses attacked and ransacked. Hindus in Bangladesh are the soft target and perhaps the most severe collateral damage of the rioting in Bangladesh. Houses and business establishments of Hindus have been attacked by violent mobs in the recent upheaval that led to the exit of the Bangladeshi now former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Hindus and their valuables have also been looted, this in at least 27 districts of Bangladesh. The extent of these attacks is yet to be completely ascertained, as has been conveyed by India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in his address to both houses of the parliament today. Presently, Hindus make up about 8% of Bangladesh's population, or around 13.1 million people. And not just Hindus, Bangladeshi protesters have also set fire to the Indira Gandhi Cultural Centre and Bangabandhu Bhavan. It should be noted that the IGCC was an iconic linkage between New Delhi and Dhaka. So with Bangladesh's Hindus under fire, is the country's inclusive image under threat? And is the rise of radicalism the new reality of Bangladesh? Those are the questions that set the tone of Plain Speak tonight. On that note, the Hindu community has also been facing the brunt of violence in Bangladesh. Let's also break down for you what has been happening. The Hindus have been alleging that their houses have been attacked by violent mobs. Even temples have not been spared. The ISKCON temple in Meherpur, Kali temple, were also vandalized and set on fire. 2 Hindu councillors have in fact lost their lives amid the widespread violence. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has also said that the government is closely monitoring the situation and keeping a close watch on the law and order situation in Bangladesh. But are Hindus becoming a soft target in Bangladesh? That's what the history of Bangladesh in fact goes on to indicate. On 5th of February last year, radicals suspected of belonging to the Jamaat-e-Islami carried out and orchestrated attacks on 14 temples in the country alone. In 2021, from 13 up till 19th of October, mobs targeted, vandalized at least 80 Hindu temples during the Durga Puja festivities alone. Even in 2013, during the anti-Hindu violence, 40 Hindu temples across Bangladesh were vandalized in attacks by supporters of an Islamic party. Bangladesh was home to several Hindus before partition. But however, Hindus in Bangladesh now live in fear as attacks are only on the rise. According to the official 1950 census for East Pakistan, Hindus consisted of 23% of the total population of that entire province, a number that had been depleted to 10% in 1991, and in 2022, that number now stands only at 8%, while the Muslim population stands at 91% in the year 2022. And so that's a question we are now opening, and that is, now that Hindus in Bangladesh are under fire, is this the rise of radicalism, and is that the new reality in Bangladesh?
Military is they take over. I think we are safe. But I don't know. We are afraid also.
We are also monitoring the situation with regard to the status of minorities. There are reports of initiatives by various groups and organizations to ensure their protection and well-being. We welcome that, but will naturally remain deeply concerned till law and order is visibly restored.
right, let me also introduce my esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Vishnu Shankar Jain, who's a renowned lawyer and Hindu rights activist. I'm also joined in by Salim Samad, who's a Bangladeshi journalist. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Let me begin with you, Vishnu. Vishnu, the fact that most of the arson and vandalism that's taking place on the streets of Bangladesh is also being blamed partly or rather wholly on Sheikh Hasina's authoritarianism. But does that justify the kind of violence that Bangladesh has witnessed in the last few days?
See, absolutely shocking what's happening in Bangladesh and the way the minorities are being targeted in the garb of anti-Sheikh Hasina policies is extremely, I think, it shows the nature and the character what is happening in Bangladesh. And apart from that, please appreciate, you have given very nice data that the minorities which were there in Bangladesh as per Nehru Liaquat Pact at the time of partition were around 23%, and today they have reduced to 8%. So where is this population gone? Where is the international community? Why are they silent about it? Today the situation in Bangladesh is so extreme that people have been hanged. Apart from that, the women are being raped, the temples are being destroyed, the minorities are being attacked continuously, and there is no voice from any section of the society. And these very people I am asking today on the basis of that where are these secular parties who are opposing the Citizenship Amendment Act? Now today these minorities who are being persecuted on the basis of their religion, when they will come to our country, will they not be given citizenship? Will there be an opposition to the citizenship which will be given to these minorities which are persecuted on the basis of the religion? These are the questions, and perhaps this was the debate when Citizenship Amendment Act was brought.
Right.
This was the debate when we talk about the temples are being demolished time and again. And today you are seeing in the current scenario that how temples are being demolished, how minorities are being attacked, how women are being raped. This has happened in Pakistan. Kindly see the situation in Pakistan when partition happened at the time of Nehru Liaquat Pact. The Hindus in Pakistan were close to about 15%, and today they have been reduced to 2%. Where is the population? 13% population gone. So
All right.
the question is, and the fear is that and I demand from you on the basis very responsibly from the government of India that they should give safe passage to these communities, these minority communities, and they should be brought back to our country safely and given citizenship with respect.
All right. Salim Samad, you heard what Vishnu had to say. What explains that steady decline in the Hindu population? In fact, that should be a subsequent question to what I actually want to ask from you. How is targeting of places of worship or taking lives of priests even, called or labeled as a civil disobedience movement?
To be very frank, let me catch up with your last word called civil disobedience. The civil disobedience has ended day before yesterday. This is now a peaceful transition is on the way. So right now there is no police nowhere in Bangladesh. Not a single police station have any police forces to check the law and order situation, the violence, the vandalism that is happening since yesterday. This has happening all over the Bangladesh. It is also happening in the capital. You must have seen the official residence.
Mr. Samad, are you saying that these vandals, are you saying that these rioters and these vandals have nothing to do with the movement? They are not part of the movement? Is that what you are saying?
No way.
We've all
No
seen
way.
visuals coming in from Sheikh Hasina's palace and how it has been ransacked, how it's been...
None of them were students. I'm sorry.
It is
None
a
of them
Gen
were
Z
students.
movement. You can see they are all students. They're all
If you
students.
argue
In fact,
with me, then I have to quit. I have to get back. I have to quit.
Mr. Samad,
you
you'll
argue.
have to allow me to ask you questions. On what basis
have to
are you
ask me
claiming
direct
that they
questions.
are not students?
None of them are students. I can guarantee that.
Who are they?
I have been a witness. I'm a witness. These are vandals. These are rioters. These are absolutely a different class of people who have always been taking opportunities during such crises. Especially right now, there is a revolution and there is no law and order. The police are absolutely absent. So obviously, I will not support whatever has happened. I condone the vandalism, especially the attacks on the Hindus, especially the attacks on the temples, the arson and the crime that has been committed. I definitely am worried that if this continue, there will be more reaction. I know I had been invited for another event where they supposed to invite the Hindu Buddhist Christian Association. They also are afraid to come on live for a television for another program which is going to be in an hour in Delhi. So you can understand the situation is not favor. I mean, don't think that I am secure. I am at home. I am secure. It anytime that the vandalism is all over the city. It has slightly reduced, but again, let me again, even the diplomatic area, just talk to an Indian High Commissioner. Not the High Commissioner, but one of the senior most High Commissioner in the Bangladesh Indian High Commissioner in Dhaka. He said that the police is not in front of none of the embassies in that region. Not a single police are also in the diplomatic.
But Mr. Samad, I'm sure you will agree that the sense of security when you belong to the majoritarian community is different as compared to when you see the kind of attacks that have been taking on the minorities. Let me also quickly bring in Vishnu. Vishnu, we saw a very confident General Zama make that announcement yesterday of how the military took over. And at a time as we speak, we know of the interim government formation, but is that also an indication of things to come, considering what Mr. Samad is saying is that these are vandals, they have nothing to do with the student movement, then who are they and what has the military done so far to clamp down on such vandals?
See, I believe that doctrine of severability, as Mr. Samad is claiming, it does not apply to the situation which is going on in Bangladesh. I want to ask you, and I want to ask a question to myself. Prime Minister had inaugurated a Kali temple there. Who has burned the Kali temple in Bangladesh? ISKCON temple has been vandalized. The Hindus have been raped, murdered and butchered. Apart from that, you are seeing visuals where the people have been like hanged upside down. Then there are, apart from that, so many houses which have been burned. Violence is going on. The question is, if I, with lot of respect to Mr. Samad, if he is categorizing it, saying that it is just some section of the society, I'm really sorry, sir. I think you need to introspect. The situation is really worst. It's a religious persecution. And the point which I'm trying to make here is that if these people who are being persecuted on the basis of their religion, and it is not that it is just happening today, there's a continuous decline in the Hindu population right from the partition till this very day. And the question is, as you just told, that from 23% to 8% and less than that, where is this population gone? Either they have been forced to convert, either they have been eliminated, or they have been persecuted on the basis of their religion. So this is the question, this is the fear. And now the problem is that this is no more a dream which we are thinking or we are visualizing.
Right.
The External Affairs Minister on the floor of the House today has said that yes, Hindus are under attack in Bangladesh.
Absolutely. Mr. Samad, if I could bring you in on this, not to forget the fact that these protests are not new. The attacks on Hindus are not new. We've seen anti-Modi protests also happen in 2021. The fact of the matter remains that the Hindu population in Bangladesh remains on a steady decline. Yes, you can blame the anarchy today, but what explains the anarchy of the past?
I totally agree, and I am one of the journalists in Bangladesh who has traveled to all the sites where vandalism, the persecution has occurred in the last several years. So I can vouch for that. I can identify those people because I have visited all the temples, not today, because I am in front of you. So it is not possible to go there, and there is no road transport. There's no train or now buses that can fly to those areas. Once the situation is better, definitely I will go and visit. But yes, I totally agree. This vandalism, this persecution against the Hindus especially, has began in 1972. That person, I think his gentleman will disagree with me. 1972, when Bangladesh was born. 1972, the first Durga Puja, the first Durga Puja after the independence of Bangladesh was vandalized in front of me. I was a witness to that vandalism. And I still remember those people. I mean, they are elderly by 52 years. I have seen them. So this has happened. And one of the worst is that you may disagree. In the last 15 years of Sheikh Hasina's regime, none of the perpetrators who were responsible for the persecution of the Hindus, the vandalism of the temples, the looting of the temples has not been brought to justice. How do you explain this?
It's not like it happened during Khalida Zia's time. So let me bring in.
I am not talking about.
Right, let me bring in Tawfiq Imroz Khalidi. Mr.
Excuse me, I have said I have visited all the places where there was a persecution in Bangladesh. All the places.
No, but the point that I'm making, if you may allow me to make that point, is that persecution has not just been unique to Sheikh Hasina government. It's also happened during Khalida Zia's time.
I was a reporter, and I have visited all the previous regimes, regimes when they were in power. I have visited all the places.
All right. Tawfiq Imroz Khalidi, who's the editor-in-chief of bdnews24.com, is also joining us right now. Tawfiq, if you could please turn on your video, because we've just lost your video over there. We'll try to, in fact, reconnect with Tawfiq. But Vishnu, if I could bring you in, the big question now that's plaguing everyone is, what can we now expect? If things can go downhill so rapidly, will the new army chief and will the new interim government be able to bring any respite to the Hindus?
I think that there are diplomatic channels which are on. And as per the statement, a very responsible statement has been given by the External Affairs Minister. And I believe that the government of India is in continuous talks with the current regime. And I feel and I believe and I hope that the Hindus who are being persecuted there on the basis of their religion must be brought to safe home, and definitely they must be given citizenship. They must be given they must be brought to refugee camps, and then they must be shifted to our country. The point is that as of now, it's not the question of any blame game. It's not the question of playing any politics. It's not any legal issue. The point is that as of now, we have to see about rehabilitation, about restoration, about rescue of these people who are being persecuted, and they have to be rescued at any cost. And for that, I think government of India is trying to have diplomatic talks, and diplomatic channels are open, and they are taking all the efforts to rescue them. But let's hope for the best, because their lives are in danger, and we all pray that they all reach to our country very safely.
Absolutely. And Mr. Samad, the question that's now coming to mind, of course, is how will the New Delhi and Dhaka engagement be redefined? How important it is for New Delhi to maintain that bilateral relationship with Dhaka, and can that be expected with a Sheikh Hasina seeking refuge in New Delhi?
Number one is there is no government right now, so you cannot expect something that has to be to talk about the India-Bangladesh relations. So the interim government, once the interim government takes oath, hopefully by tomorrow morning, there will be a government, and that government will be only for 6 months, because they have to organize an election. But I want to add a single information that needs to be shared. The military has already given a notification of ensuring that this vandalism and arson, looting has to stop. Number one. Number two, the students have already formed committees to all the district towns, all the places, and they specifically mentioned about the rioting in the temples, vandalism in the temples, specifically mentioned. And some of the places the rioting has possibly reduced significantly since yesterday.
All right.
Today there are some incidents, but that has reduced. So you have, and I have already mentioned, there is no police. So if you have, there is no police, and you cannot expect the military will go to all the villages in Bangladesh, because they have other things to do.
My apologies right now, Mr. Samad. Let me also quickly bring in Tawfiq Imroz Khalidi, who is finally with us at the moment. Tawfiq, what explains this these targeted attacks on Hindu temples, their defacing of the Hindu temples, targeting of these Hindu priests during these riots? Is it fair to say that these rioters are not part of the student movement that led to it?
Definitely, they're not part of the student movement, but they are supporters of what has happened, this changeover, of course. Of course, some people are trying to settle the personal scores, and it has always happened in Bangladesh. Hindus or other minorities have been targets of various groups. I mean, it's happened in the 1970s, in the 80s during Rashad's time, and then after Awami League lost elections in 2001. It was severe. It was very, very bad. After the elections in October 2001 elections. I think this time it's going to be a bit worse. The anarchy and lawlessness, and because there is no government. In 2001, there was a government. The elections were held on 1st of October, and 10th of October, the new government took over. The cabinet took over. But then there was a government. The caretaker government was there. But this time there is no government at all. There's complete chaos. Police are not functioning. The traffic, the job of traffic police have been taken over by this auxiliary force called Ansars, which is absolutely unusual, very unusual.
All right, I'm going to
There is
request
no
you.
government. I guess there is some. The army is not very settled at the moment. They have announced in the hours or 2-3 hours, yes, major changes at the top level. There are really major changes.
Mr. Khalidi,
And,
the fact
and
of
no
the
one is
matter.
in control. No one is controlled. But apparently the student
right.
leaders,
All right,
they're
I
in control.
completely agree
But
with you that there's nobody to control what's happening on the streets. There is complete anarchy. But having seen that steady decline, I don't know if you heard our breakup of all those figures, the way we've seen the decline of the Hindu population in Bangladesh, it doesn't seem like an overnight trend. But let me quickly bring in Mr. Chinmoy Krishnadas, who's the president of ISKCON. We'll try and reconnect with him. We seem to be having some problem with his connection. But Vishnu, as we said, right now, is it fair to just blame the anarchy of the current exit of Sheikh Hasina, or is it just that Hindus as a minority are under attack perpetually? We've seen that even when governments have prevailed, say for example, even that of Sheikh Hasina, who stayed in power since the year 2009.
See, the question is, today I feel very proud when I introspect and I look at the constitution of our country. Today in our country, if you see, the minorities are so safe, whether they belong to any religion. There is no persecution of minorities on the basis of their religion. And today we are seeing, as I gave you example of Pakistan as well as of Bangladesh, the Hindus who are in minority, they are being persecuted because of their belief, because of their religion. And this is very, very shocking. And actually, we have to understand the mindset. The question is not about the present government or the past government. This problem is persisting in Bangladesh as well as in Pakistan right from partition, and the Hindus are in continuous attack. There are many of my people whom I am in touch with in Bangladesh, and continuously we meet them over every 3 months, and they keep telling us first-hand information, Akansha, that how Hindus are in attack in Bangladesh. There's an organization for Minority Watch on Bangladesh, and continuous first-hand information of rape, murder, everything is happening. Every day it's happening, and that's why this is the cause of continuous decline. So the situation is, if you analyze the revolution against the present regime has happened on a different issue. But the moment the regime has turned over, they started attacking the Hindus in Bangladesh. What's the logic? There's no logic for being attacked. Now the ISKCON temple has been vandalized. As I gave you an example, Kali temple, which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister himself, has been burned down totally.
Right.
So these are the instances where Hindu temples are under attack in Pakistan as well as in Bangladesh because of a mindset.
Absolutely. Mr. Samad, if I could bring you in, it is the mindset that Vishnu is rightly questioning, which is why I want to ask you. During Khalida Zia's second stint, we've seen the rise of Islamist radicalization. We've seen those attacks also go up. Of course, needless to say, there were corruption charges also. But those fears are now coming back, not just for the minorities in Bangladesh, but also for the bilateral relationship between New Delhi and Dhaka.
First, I need to explain. First, most of the attacks that has occurred, apart from the word called persecution, but there are different, definition of persecution and attacks and vandalism are because the mindset, as Vishnu has mentioned, the mindset is anti-Indian. So wherever they think that the Hindus are the supporters of India, and they should of course, if they are being attacked, if they are vandalized, if they are arson in the temples, they will leave Bangladesh and go to India. But this has happened since 1947. So there are examples of hundreds and thousands of examples of how they were attacked, and they were forced to move or migrate to India. So that is one issue. The second issue is very important, that the Hindus are, of course, because they have the second largest religious group in Bangladesh. The Adivashis, even the Ahmadiyya Muslim. So it is not only the Hindus, the Ahmadiyya Muslim. Every Friday, the Jummah prayer, all over the Bangladesh, wherever there is an Ahmadiyya Muslims mosque is there, every Friday noon at the Jummah prayer, their
All right,
mosque is
Mr.
attacked.
Samad, I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. I'll have to quickly go across to Chinmoy Krishna Das, who's the president of ISKCON, joining me live. Mr. Das, thank you for joining in. If I could begin by asking, what is your information? We've also spoken to the General Secretary earlier during the day of ISKCON, and he had some horrific details to share. Could you give us a sense of ground zero of how temples in Bangladesh have been targeted? We've also heard about how Hindu councillors have been attacked. Could you share some information with us?
Yes,
Mr. Das, can you hear me? Mr. Das, can you hear me? All right, we seem to be having some audio issues over there with Chinmoy Krishna Das, but let me quickly go back to Vishnu. Vishnu, the fears are, more prevalent than ever today, but the fact of the matter remains, how crucial is it for New Delhi to now engage with Dhaka? Many are saying that now that India is hosting Sheikh Hasina, this is only going to complicate matters for the worse. But having said that, if India can engage with a Taliban, why can't we now engage with an interim government in Bangladesh?
Have given a very nice simile, and as Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee has always told, that we cannot change our neighbors. So we have very friendly relations with Bangladesh in the past, and we have worked together so far as the development and various aspects on various sides of diplomatic relations are concerned with Bangladesh, and we have to, and we believe that in future we need to have good diplomatic relations with Bangladesh, and in future our neighbors together we can grow as a nation, as a country, as a civilization. So it is very, very important for the present government to have talks with Delhi, and definitely there is a urgent need, and I request the government of India to rescue the people who are being persecuted on the basis of religion. It is very, very important. It is need of the hour. Yes, government has changed, regime has changed, but definitely today the government needs to intervene. They need to rescue these people. And I'm very, very proud of my country, Akansha. I want to say that when this partition happened, Muslims in our country were 8%. Today they are 25%. This is a message we have given to the entire world, that how there is no so far as religious persecution is concerned in our country, but so far as Hindus are concerned, in both the neighboring nations, they have declined significantly. So we have to change the mindset, and we have to work together as neighbors and as country, so that we can grow and have a proper development.
All right, Chinmoy Krishna Das, president of ISKCON, is in fact back with us. Chinmoy जी, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. जिस तरह के अटैक्स अभी ISKCON के टेम्पल्स पे हो रहे हैं, काली माता के टेम्पल पे भी हुआ है, हिंदू काउंसलर्स को अटैक किया गया है, हमसे कुछ जानकारी शेयर कर सकते हैं जो आज हिंदुओं के साथ हो रहा है बांग्लादेश में?
गवर्नमेंट पॉल के बाद होल हिंदू कम्युनिटी लीडर, हिंदू बिजनेस सेंटर, हिंदू होम और हिंदू टेम्पल में अटैक हुआ, और 35 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 45 अटैक का हिंदू बुद्ध क्रिश्चियन ऐक्य परिषद यस्टरडे नाइट में कंफर्म किया, और मेहरपुर में इस्कॉन टेम्पल में अटैक किया जी। आप जो वीडियो देख रहे हैं जी, अभी तक आदर्श टेम्पल और जो मेरा इस्कॉन टेम्पल है, आदर्श टेम्पल, अटैक का भीति है, अटैक का लिए संभावना है।
आप लोगों को कोई भी तरह की जो है अश्योरेंसेस मिले हैं आर्मी से या किसी भी तरह का सिक्योरिटी का प्रॉमिस दिया गया है आर्मी से कि आप लोगों की सुरक्षा उनकी जिम्मेदारी है?
पुलिस लोग भाग रहे और जो रैपिड एक्शन बटालियन और उपजिला प्रशासन, उपजिला मैनेजमेंट अपारगता प्रकाश किया और जो आर्मी पर्सन कांटेक्ट नंबर चिटागांग में भेजा, उनको मैं कल बात किया। जो गवर्नमेंट कैफी सेंटर है, वो सेंटर में जो लोकल थाना है, लोकल पुलिस सेंटर और आदर्श गवर्नमेंट प्लेस रक्षा के लिए बिजी है। जो हिंदू कम्युनिटी का लिए सुरक्षा एनफ नहीं, और जो कुछ मुस्लिम लोग लोकल से सहायता कर रहा है हिंदू लोग को साथ, और कुछ प्लेस अटैक होता है। जो ऑल पार्टी बोल रहा है, जो स्टूडेंट लीडर बोल रहा है, जो
क्या आप हमें ये बता सकते हैं कि जो टेम्पल्स अटैक हुए हैं, आपको कोई भी जानकारी है कि वो स्टूडेंट लीडर्स ही थे या ये स्टूडेंट मूवमेंट के पार्ट थे या कोई अलग से गुंडे आए हुए थे? ये भी मानना है लोगों का कि वो स्टूडेंट मूवमेंट के हिस्सा नहीं थे।
वो आतंकवादी सांप्रदायिक गोष्ठी है। जो पहला से बांग्लादेश में बार बार अटैक किया, वो गोष्ठी बांग्लादेश में जो हिंदू अटैक का फाइनली विचार नहीं हुआ, पनिशमेंट नहीं हुआ, इसलिए हिंदू लोग को अटैक करना ये एक धर्म हो गया आतंकवादी के लिए।
चिन्मय जी हमारे साथ बने रहिए। तौफीक, if I could bring you in, whenever we see this kind of rioting happening on in any part of the country, we've seen a similar situation happen in Sri Lanka a couple of years ago. But if you were to look at what's happening in Bangladesh, the fact of the matter remains is that there's greater onus on the army if the police is helpless to protect the marginalized, to protect the minorities. You heard the involvement of those kind of terror elements that as Chinmoy has just now shared with us. In fact, I'll take